Everyone, and welcome to another video for Flesh and Blood. Today we have Leigh Fletcher here with us.
Yes. Hello.
So Leigh's from Rathe Shop and
Yes.
was good enough to provide us with the top 10 for Mechanologist today. And that's what we're doing. 10 cards you need in your Mechanologist deck by Leigh. Now, Leigh's had a lot of success from playing Dash. Yeah, Leigh?
Yes, yeah, that's correct. I jumped on the bandwagon at our locals. Well, our short-lived locals when we had a couple of weeks. But I jumped on the bandwagon and managed to get a few wins and top placings at our locals. So yeah, it's served me well.
Yeah, to go on that, we are still doing our locals. We're just
sorry, yes.
at the moment, but yeah.
Yeah, sorry, yeah, it's all online. So I mean, when we came back in person, I took on the dash for the couple of weeks that we were doing the locals in person. But yeah, we're still doing it online.
Yeah, nice. All right, we won't waste any more time. People are here to see the top 10 and what cards they should put in their deck. So let me go through them. The first one is Induction Chamber. Let me just read it out quickly. Action, 1 resource. If there are no steam counters on Induction Chamber, put a steam counter on it. And then once per turn attack reaction, remove a steam counter from Induction Chamber. Target Mechanologist pistol attack gains. Go again. Go for it, Leigh.
So I guess this is like the staple of the deck. There are two main types of what's it, archetypes? Is that the word for it? Like you can go either the control or the mid range.
Yeah.
I guess with this all being said, this is all before Crucible that I had all my playing. Like I haven't toyed around with it too much in Arcane Rising. But yeah, in Crucible I was playing more the control deck. So the Induction Chamber was that was the bread and butter of the deck. It was just pitch, shoot, go again with Induction Chamber. So you'd aim to get those out, like try to get all 3 out on the field.
So you mean the other way around? You mean the other way around, yeah? Arcane Rising, you were playing this.
So yeah, Arcane Rising, yeah, I was playing it in Arcane Rising. But yeah, this is just lets you just chip away at your opponent. You start with dash. You get to start out with 1 item on the field, and this is the item for. Well, I've seen everyone start with it for both decks.
Right. So that's important, yeah. So I forgot about that. So dash does get to start with an item. This is your go-to item, is it?
Yes, yeah, I'd say it is the go-to item, especially for control. With the mid-range, I think I can see people mixing it up a little bit and trying different things, but it seems like everyone's going for Induction Chamber so far.
Right, let's move on to the next card people want to see. Next card I've got on the list is Convection Amplifier. Now this one's also from Arcane Rising. Now,
yes.
Enters the arena with 2 steam counters on it. When the amplifier has no steam counters on it, destroy it. And as an action, remove a steam counter from Convection Amplifier. The next attack action card you play this turn gains Dominate and Go again. Oh my goodness.
Yes. So I haven't seen this card get as much play from some of the higher up decks, or like especially in control. But this is a card that I really enjoyed and I really found worked wonders. It's just, it gives a card Dominate. Like you can play it with Command and Conquer saw a lot of play, and that was a really strong card. So I think for a while I was playing a couple of Command and Conquers and then a couple of Pummels as well as this card. So you could just get a guaranteed big swing, and with your the armor, the Goliath Gauntlet, you could get the Command and Conquer in for 8, Dominate. They couldn't stop it with their armor or anything, so it can really help push some big attacks through and just get you the tempo back in the game.
Wow,
so
it's really interesting.
It's not as seeing as much play, but I definitely think it's a really good card.
Okay, we'll move on to the next one. So next card you need in your deck is, I'll just make sure that didn't jump, 0 to 60 boost. As an additional cost to play 0 to 60, you may banish a top card of your deck. If Mechanologist card 0 to 60 gains Go again. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, exactly. And I've heard you say in your other videos, Andy, it doesn't cost anything to play. It's a free card, so it's good.
Yeah. You didn't give me the colors on this, so I put the red one up. Is that correct?
I run for a large amount of time. I was running all 9, and then I think I put it down to 3 red, 3 blue, because the blue anything that blocks for 3 and it's a pitches for 3 resources, like it's definitely needed in the control deck. And then I think I started to switch more to the mid-range deck. I saw that get a lot of good results, and it was just playing really well. So yeah, I had 3 red 0 to 60s, just because it's a free attack. Attacks for 4, forces a block or a chunk of damage. So yeah,
Yeah.
strong.
That's my rule. That's my rule. Blue, pitch for 3, 0 cost, 3 D.
Yeah, exactly. It's great.
All right, let's get on to the next one. So, yeah, I like it. I like that the fact that you've got a card in there just for the damage potential, you know, and they've got to block it. Oh, I've got
Yeah.
yellow and the blue. I shouldn't have them in there, but Teclo Plasma Pistol.
Yeah, so that's just the standard weapon that Dash would start with. In Arcane Rising, it was the only weapon, but it just lets you just chip away the damage. It's just an attacks for 2, costs a resource to load up, so it's just a simple, nice, easy attack. So a lot of the control plays was just pay your resources to put the counters on the pistol and the chambers, and then you just shoot, give it go again, and then you just keep shooting, and yeah, you keep your deck. You just keep pitching your deck while your opponent's losing it all to just to constantly block the attack. So it's just, yeah, very handy card.
How many attacks have you got off in a turn with that the most?
I've at least 4 pistol attacks as well as normal attacks, because if you use high octane, which I think should be in the list, it lets you get extra action points. So it's pretty much you do have your turn with a few attacks and a few boosts, and yeah, then with the leftover resources and leftover action points, you just shoot away with the gun. So yeah, it can be tricky. Can deal out a lot of damage.
Okay, the card we're putting up on the screen is Teclo Foundry Heart. Once per turn, 1 resource, banish the top 2 cards of your deck, gain 1 resource each Mechanologist card. Activate this ability only if you have boosted this turn. Go again. It's also got Battle Worn, defense for 2, then for 1. Go for it.
Yeah, it's a pretty solid card. I found, like, in the mid-range deck, when you're boosting a lot, this comes in very handy. But even in the control deck, just the fact that it blocks for 2 and it has Battle Worn, I just didn't find myself utilizing Tunic as much as I thought I would. So but with Tunic, it just gives you a free resource every 3 turns, as long as you remember to put the counter on. But with this, it's just, yeah, I just found the blocking really helps, especially against things like Ninja. It's, yeah, I don't know. I've been taking a liking to it more and more lately. And just the effect when you are using the boost can give you a lot of resource. So it comes in very handy.
So the video right before this was Guardian. Now, if you get a -1 counter on this, are you scared of losing it from Guardian's attacks?
Well, yeah, that's interesting. It's I haven't put much thought into the things with Crucible. Like, it's, you can lose it, which is scary. It would, I think if you're playing the boost heavy deck, that would be your, like, main win con, or like one of the main things. So I'd be very worried about losing it against Guardian. But if you're not boosting as much, I think it wouldn't be the worst to lose. But it definitely would make an impact regardless.
Yeah. All right. We'll move on to the next card. We've got High Octane. Whenever you boost the card this turn, gain 1 action point. Draw a card. Go again. What a great card. Go for it.
Yeah, it's really, really good because it replaces itself as well as gives you the extra action point every time you successfully boost. I think this was a card that I saw in our local scene start to get a little bit of play. And then we saw Matt Rogers use this along with Tome of Findale, and just that little combo, it's just was really, really handy. Like, you boost, get a couple of action points, use a Tome from Arsenal, get an extra 4 life, an extra 2 cards. You start your turn all over again. So I think once we saw that come about, I think everyone jumped on board with that. But it was something that a few of us were toying around with before without Tome. But just in the like a deck with a lot of boosts, you just, like, as I said before, I got 4 extra pistol hits off at the end of my turn because if you draw another blue, you've got 2 blues in hand, or 3 blues, you get like 6 resources. Yeah, attack once or twice, get a couple of action points, and you've got your induction chambers. So I really, really like this card. I've almost considered running Remembrance in the deck just to bring it back, just so I can use it again. It's brutal.
It's an action card. The thing, because I was thinking about this, like there's a whole bunch of cards to get action points, but if you don't have the cards in hand to actually pay for any more actions, well, it's pretty useless. But this is fantastic. It gives you a card as well as points, so it gives you something to do. It is, like you said, if you've got other ways to get more cards in hand, it's crazy.
Yeah, exactly. I guess in the control deck, you run predominantly blues, so you can almost rely on drawing another blue off the draw to get that extra resource. So it's just starting your turn with an extra 2 resources, pretty handy, which I feel like is going to lead into the next card, or one of the next cards, very well. Teclo, again, it's just starting your turn with 2 extra resources, really handy. I find this card, it's interesting because the card itself doesn't block, but it's because it's an item, it doesn't block, so it can be tricky getting it stuck in your hand. But if you, like, I play against a lot of Warrior, like test against Warrior a lot, and I find I have to block a lot. So if I block with 3 cards from my hand and just get left with this, I'll just play that, and then the next turn I can still continue to block with my whole hand and still get 2 free resource. So it just allows you to play safe and block up, and then still have resource to spare the next turn. Or even if you just keep 1 card and then the Teclo, like, you can still do a lot with 5 resource if it's a blue in your hand.
Yeah, you're right. It's 0 cost blue. Just doesn't.
Yeah, just doesn't block. It almost fits the criteria.
Yeah. All right, what have we got next? Spark of Genius. It's also a specialization for Dash. Search your deck for a Mechanologist item card with cost X. Put it into your arena, then shuffle your deck. If you have boosted this turn, draw a card. Wow.
Yeah, I guess it's used to search out induction chamber predominantly, but I've also found that if I don't have, because it's you have to pay searching out a card with X, and you have to pay XX, so you have to pay double the amount. So induction chamber costs 2, so you have to pay 4 to find it. So sometimes that is a bit costly and a bit hard to get. So sometimes I do just opt for getting like a Teclo core. But it really helps you with the game plan of getting out your induction chambers as soon as possible. And now with Crucible, there's the new Plasma Purifier, which is the other thing that gives you a weapon attack +1. So that can also help search that out as well.
You said that it costs 4. Hold on, I'll just take you on that. You said that the thing was costing you 4. Wouldn't it just cost you the 2?
So induction chamber costs 2. So Spark of Genius says search out a card with cost X and put it into the arena. But the cost of Spark of Genius in the top right, it says XX. So you have to pay double of the, like, just to get the card out. Yeah, you have to pay double the cost.
Crazy.
So it can be pretty costly, but it helps you get out your, like, one of your win cons. But it's also interesting as well that I haven't seen it played as much, and I didn't realize it for a long time. I don't know if it's going to make a huge, I guess someone would have cracked it by now if it was that broken, but it says if you've boosted this turn, draw a card. So if you're playing it with High Octane and then you're boosting, you've got extra action points, you can draw another free card and search out a 0 cost. Like it can lead to some interesting combinations. So I haven't really pulled that off. I think I pulled it off once or twice, like getting it in a chain and still having go again and drawing a card. But I feel like there could be potential to do some more wacky things. And I guess as we get more and more items throughout the sets, it could really lead to some more interesting combos.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. Magnetic Shockwave, one that I'm a bit worried about. Defending must defend Magnetic Shockwave with X equipment control, where X is the number of times you have boosted this combat chain. Yeah, I'm a bit worried about this one.
Yeah, it looks scary. It's where is it? I'm just trying to find the image of it then. Okay.
It's a blue pitch. It's 3 defense, 4 attack. It costs 2. Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty strong. It's pretty good. And I heard from one of the road at the moment. There's the Road to National series going on in New Zealand. Apparently, one of the ninja guys went up against the Dash, and on turn one, the Dash used Mechanologist Shockwave for like 4 or something. So he took out the guy's tunic and mask. Oh, sorry, plus he boosted 3 or 4 times or something. So he took out the ninja's mask and tunic turn 1. So I guess that's a perfect situation for the Dash player. But if you're ninja, you're relying on these pieces. Like you're relying on your mask, you're relying on the tunic. So it's it can really mess up a few different characters.
Yeah, if you've boosted 4 times in the turn and managed to play this card type thing, that's all the equipment gone for ninja at least. Anyway, other than making skulls if they're using it.
Yeah, exactly.
Crazy.
Yeah, so it's I haven't been able to toy around with this card much as I haven't played too much of Dashing Crucible, but that's a card I'm really looking forward to playing. Even just against other big. I guess I keep going back to Warrior because I play against Warrior so much, but just taking out the legs or even the chest piece, braces, anything. Just I'd be happy to take a piece of armor or 2 off a Warrior player.
Yeah, for sure. All right, we're into our last card at the moment, and that is High Speed Impact. Put a red up there. Tell me on that. Now, if it hits, the next boost this combat chain gains Dominate, and it got boost as well.
Yeah. So this is one that I like the looks of. As I said, again, I haven't played too much of Dashing Crucible with Crucible cards. But just it would have been the red and the blue because the blue blocks for 3 and it's blue. So I guess at the moment there's just a lot of random blue block for 3 cards. So this is a card that will actually come in handy, I think. But yeah, it attacks for 4 and it only costs 1. So if it hits, your next attack gets Dominate. So if you can have a Command and Conquer or even one of your other big attacks like Throttle or something, or Overblast, which is one of the other new cards that gains more attack the more you've boosted. Yep. Just being able to guarantee a big hit with Dominate or the Magnetic Shockwave. Like if you get that with Dominate, you're definitely going to take some armor pieces off of them.
Yep.
So it's I think I really want to play around with that, test a little bit, see how that goes. But just Dominate's just a really fun mechanic when you're using it. When you're going up against it, it's not so fun.
Yeah. All right. So there are 10 cards, people. I'm going to go through them one more time. Induction Chamber, Convection Amplifier, 0 to 60, Teclo Plasma Pistol, Teclo Foundry Heart, High Octane, Teclo Core, Spark of Genius, Magnetic Shockwave, High Speed Impact. Leigh, if you were to choose one of those cards that you needed in foil that every Dash player, Mechanologist player needs to have in foil, which one is it?
Oh,
all look good. That Induction Chamber looks brilliant in foil, but
yeah, that's
to have one foil card.
Probably Induction Chamber. I think it was my first foil mech card, and it's just I always start with on the field. I had one in the deck, and I just started with on the field. It was just nice. It's seeing Induction Chamber annoys a lot of people, but it's a pretty card. Other than that, it would probably be Magnetic Shockwave. I think having that in foil would be nice. It's a majestic, looks nice, and it's meant to be a scary card. So I'll go Induction Chamber.
Yeah, no, I'm the same. Like when I first drew Induction Chamber, I was like, "Oh, this is such a beautiful card." Type thing, and wow, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
All right, that's it, people. 10 cards you need in your Mechanologist deck. Stay around for the next video to come. Have a great one, guys. See you all.
Thanks, guys.
From Leigh.
The Rathe Shop. I was just going to say my name.
Yeah, no, Rathe Shop as well. All right.